Sometimes life changes in the most unexpected moments. A single knock, a wrong door, and 1 second that feels like a lifetime. Mark Bennett, a single dad just trying to hold his world together, never imagined that a simple mistake would lead him into a story that would test his character, reveal someone else's hidden pain, and change both of their lives forever. And it all began the night he walked into the wrong apartment, and saw his boss, the CEO, standing there, vulnerable, terrified, and completely unprepared. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us continue sharing heartfelt, real human kindness stories here on Kindness Diaries. Now, let's begin. Mark lived on the 7th floor of a quiet apartment building just outside Chicago. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was stable enough for him and his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. After losing his wife to a sudden illness 2 years earlier, he learned to raise Lily alone, brushing her hair before school, packing lunches, helping with homework, all while juggling his job as an assistant at a fast-growing tech company. He was exhausted most days, but Lily's smile made it worth it. One Friday night, after picking Lily up from a friend's house, Mark carried grocery bags up the elevator to their floor. His apartment door had been sticking lately, refusing to open unless he pushed with his shoulder. So when he reached what he thought was his door, 7B, and found it slightly ajar, he didn't think twice. He assumed Lily must have forgotten to close it fully earlier. Hang on, sweet pea, he told his daughter. Doors being weird again. He nudged it open with his foot, but what he saw inside froze him. A woman, wearing a silky blue dress, stood in the middle of the living room, halfway through changing. Her expression shifted instantly from confusion, to shock, to panic. Mark dropped the grocery bag. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, he stuttered. I thought, I don't know what, I'm sorry. The woman clutched the top of her dress, staring at him like he was a stranger who had just broken into her world, which, technically, he had. But this wasn't just any woman. It was Eva Sinclair, his CEO. The youngest, toughest, most intimidating tech executive in the Midwest. A woman known for firing people with nothing more than a raised eyebrow. And now she stood there, vulnerable, embarrassed, and looking at him like her life depended on what he said next. Mark stepped back immediately, shielding Lily behind him. I swear, it was a mistake. I must have walked into 7C instead of 7B. I'm so sorry. Eva's breath shook once, then she nodded slowly. Mark, right. He swallowed hard. Yes, ma'am. She looked around the apartment, as if replaying what had just happened. Her voice softened. It's okay. Just, please close the door from the outside. He did. And for the rest of the night, he couldn't sleep. He kept imagining the worst, security calling him, HR firing him, headlines he never wanted to be part of. Lily patted his shoulder while they watched cartoons on the couch. Daddy, she said, you didn't do it on purpose. Kind people don't get in trouble. He wished her words were always true. The following Monday, Mark expected everything to fall apart. But instead, something strange happened. Eva avoided him. Not in the usual CEO way, this was different. Whenever she passed him in hallways, she kept her eyes down. Whenever he entered a room, she stepped out. It wasn't anger. It was fear. One afternoon, Mark stayed late to finish paperwork. He was heading toward the elevators when he heard quiet sobbing coming from the small private boardroom. The door was cracked just an inch. He recognized the voice. Eva. He hesitated. He knew better than to invade her privacy again. But something inside him, something human, refused to walk away from someone in pain. He gently tapped the door. Miss Sinclair? It's Mark. I'm not coming in. Just wanted to check if you're okay. Silence. Then a trembling voice, you can come in. Eva sat at the table, eyes red, mascara smudged, shoulders trembling. She looked nothing like the polished CEO everyone feared. She looked lost. Mark stood far from her, giving space. I never meant to embarrass you, he said softly. I really thought it was my apartment. She nodded slowly. I know. It's not that. Eva took a deep breath, as if deciding whether to open a door she'd kept locked for years. My father used to walk into my room without knocking, she whispered. All the time. I never felt safe. She looked up, voice cracking. So when you opened the door that night, even by accident, everything came back at once. Fear I thought I'd buried. Mark felt the weight of her words settle into the room. I'm so sorry, he said, meaning it from the deepest part of him. I never want to be a source of fear for anyone. Especially someone who's going through something like that. Eva wiped her eyes. You're not. But kindness isn't something I grew up with. I didn't know how to react. Mark gently pulled out a chair but didn't sit. You don't have to explain. But you don't have to handle everything alone either. She let out a humorless laugh. CEOs don't usually get that luxury. Single dads don't either, Mark replied. And for the first time, Eva smiled, a small, fragile smile, but real. That changed everything. Over the next weeks, their dynamic shifted. Eva no longer avoided Mark. Instead, she asked him questions. She talked to him in elevators. She greeted Lily when Mark brought her to the office on weekends. Slowly, cautiously, she began letting someone into the world she had kept locked shut for so long. One evening, as the office emptied out, Eva approached Mark with 2 cups of hot chocolate. For Lily, she said. And, for you. He smiled. Thank you. She hesitated. Mark, the night you opened the door by accident, it didn't ruin anything. Actually, it opened something. Something I didn't realize I needed. He raised an eyebrow. And what's that? A reminder, she said softly, that people can be kind. That not everyone